Good morning, everyone. Yay. Yay, yay. All right, so happy New Year. Hold on one second.
Oh, that's right. It's New Year. I forgot about that.
Hi. Let me just take your temperature real quick.
I don't know last time. I'll just move it. Okay. I'm right by the air conditioner. Your letter show. Huh? What'd you do yesterday? I was home, and then
Okay, I'm back. Here I am.
Oh,
So happy New Year. Happy. So I was thinking, I have a lot. My angels, Perry. I have a lot of different things I want to share with you today, but one of them to begin with is something that my teacher, Robin Rose Bennett, had said a while ago, and she talked about it really when we started to go down into this deep, dark unknown of last year. Funny to say that, right? And she said, we're heading in this place. And when I say the dark and unknown, I don't necessarily mean something that is difficult or bad, right? But we definitely plunged into a very dark, unknown, uncharted territory. And she said what was happening, or what happens often, is that we put the brake on when we go into the unknown, right? We put the brake on because we don't know quite. And she says we put so much effort into putting that brake on, so much effort, really holding on tight, that when we get down to the deepest, darkest place, which actually as yogis we kind of like, because that's a place of full possibility, a place to completely create anew. But when we do it with fear and we push that brake so hard that by the time we get into that deepest, darkest place, it's very hard to rise back up because we're exhausted. We're too tired. And so her suggestion, and this is my offering to you today with many more things that I'll read to you as well, is to let your arms come up and let your foot come off that brake and ride it more like a beautiful roller coaster, so that when you get down into the deepest, darkest place of that most unknown, which now is the new year, right? It's the beginning of something that's completely unknown, that our hands are up and our foot is up and we're willing to take that ride back up because we're definitely not exhausted. We're actually more playful. We're actually more open to the play of what's to come. So we're going to do a little chant this morning. I'm going to read to you from a couple of different places as well. So close your eyes. I had the absolute pleasure yesterday and the night before as well of doing a lot of chanting with some of my favorite artists. Yesterday, many of you, some of you, I'm sure, also joined in on this. The Brooklyn Kirtan Collective, every year since every year, gosh, I'm going to say almost 15 years, Neil and I have been doing this. Every single year we go into Manhattan and chant the Hanuman Chalisa. And this year it looked different, obviously, but it was online. So instead of going in for just a couple of hours and then leaving, I particularly listened to the chants for at least 9 hours yesterday. I think Neil went into 11 hours. And the Chalisa Hanuman is all about devotion, and how that you're willing to take a look at where you've exiled yourself. I think Perry and I were talking about that in the beginning, like where we have become a little lazy, right, and allowed ourselves to be isolated. But the truth is that this opportunity that we've had during this past year has opened us up to things that we never knew possible. So here I ask you to take your foot off the brake, to let your hands come off the steering wheel, and to free fall. And so that free falling will give you the energy that you need and I need to now create magic. Ram Ram Sita Ram 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 Hare Ram. Try Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram. Ram Ram, Sita Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram. Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram. Ram represents the highest love that we are. Hari, when you call out to that love, the beloved. Let your eyes open, come forward onto your hands and knees, and press back into child's pose. Once a great guru asked his disciples how could they tell when night ended and day began. One disciple said, when you see an animal in the distance, you can tell whether it's a cow or a horse, then you are sure that the day has begun. No, said the guru. Another disciple said, when you take a look at a tree in the distance and you can tell whether it's a neem tree or a mango, then you know the sun must have risen. No, not that either, said the guru. Disciples were mystified. They said, please, sir, tell us. What can the answer be? You can be sure the day has begun when you look into the face of any man and recognize your brother in him. When you look into the face of any woman and see her as your sister. If you cannot do this, then no matter what time it is by the sun, it will still be night within you. And come on up to your hands and knees. Press back downward facing dog. And then walk your feet up to your hands. Standing forward bend. Let your mouth open and close. Relax your jaw. Bend your knees slightly. And turn your feet wide. Come into squat. And then lie down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And take happy baby pose. Reach for your insteps. Keep your knees wide. Hug your shins in. Scoop your low belly. Lift your chest. Long, deep nose breathing here. Take your foot off the brake so you're not exhausted. Because the deeper you go into your darkness, the more the creativity will flow. And you will find it very easeful to take that ride back up. Cross your right knee on top of your left knee, right knee on top of left. Squeeze your shins away from each other. Keep your low belly scooped in. Keep your sit bones wide. Knee on top of knee. There you go. Squeeze the knees in close. Flex the feet. And then squeeze the shins in toward each other. Squeeze the shins in. Keep the navel drawn in, chest lifted. Back ribs that are on the floor, let them anchor to the floor. Squeeze the shins in almost to the point where you're shaking just a little. Working really sweetly. Good. And then stretch the legs straight up to the sky and switch other knee on top. Squeeze the shins away from each other. Now you can use your hands or not. That's up to you. When we often let go of the shins and place our hands back down to the floor, the navel has to kick in just a little bit more. So that's up to you. Breathe deeply here. Long exhales. And again, let that jaw be relaxed. Feel the sit bones moving wide and apart. Beautiful. And then go ahead and squeeze the shins in toward each other, but keep the sit bones wide and apart. Keep the knees moving in toward the navel. Notice your mind. Allowing the mind to drop into the breath, it drops into the movement. Each and every cell of the body here. Ramayana, the teachings of Hanuman, all about returning back to the place of freedom. The exile brought us to freedom. Good. And then go ahead and take those legs up to the sky. Take 3 deep breaths here with the legs up as you take your arms out to letter T. Place your palms face down. Flex your feet here. Continue your breathing. So I want you to do 3 deep breaths here. If you need to bend your knees, that's absolutely fine. Good. And then I want you to press your hands gently down and feel with your hands pressing down that you're squeezing onto your shoulder blades. You're drawing the shoulder blades onto your back here. Get your ribs to press down to the floor. Widen your sit bones. So you have all this space to just take your legs slightly to the right. Slightly to the right. So your left ribs stay anchored to the floor. The ribs that are facing the floor. And then come back to center. Very nice. And then take it to the left. So it's not a twist. It's just really a strengthening of your back. Press down. So if I came over to your right side, I could not put my hand underneath your back. And then come back to center. One more time to the right. Don't twist your hips here. And one more time to the left and make sure you're breathing. Beautiful. Come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Good. Keep hugging your right knee into your chest and take your left leg onto the floor. Stretch your left leg back out. And then flex your right foot. Bring your arms back down alongside the body. Flex your right foot. Inhale deeply here And then exhale, push your leg to straight, your right leg to straight, but don't touch the floor. So push it on like you're going to push all the way down onto the floor, and then hug it back in. Don't use your hands. Press out through your heel like you're skimming the floor. That's it. And then bring it all the way back in. So skim the floor, hug it in. Good. Now push the heel close to the floor, like you're almost about to touch the floor. That's it. Keep going. Keep breathing. Push through that heel. Keep the sides of the throat nice and long. Good. One more like that. Draw in, press out. And then the next time that knee comes into your chest, lift your hips and send your hips slightly to the right and take a spinal twist. You can take your right hand to reach down for your left ankle if you'd like, doing a thigh stretch from the bottom leg, or just stay right where you are. So many opportunities, right, for each and every one of us has opened up. Not just because it's New Year, because of what happened the past year. And the possibilities are endless into that darkness we create and into that place of potential we are. And so together, we know we have great work to do. And I think each and every one of us are ready for that great work, whatever that might be. It's really the teachings of the Ramayana, 100% the teachings of the Ramayana. Wherever you are exiled, do not hate those who have put you there, but find your God there. Find your work there. Good, come on out. And you're going to go ahead and extend your right leg down to the floor, hug your left knee into your chest. And you're going to do that same work. So the knee comes in, put the arms down alongside the body, navel stays drawn in, and then press out through that heel. Skim the floor. Go low, go low, go low. Yes, yes. And then inhale, bring it in. Bind the breath. Exhale, press it out. Inhale, draw it in. Use the breath here. Keep feeling that lift of your chest and the softening of your ribs. So we're doing this interior work. And for some of us, this might feel a little tiring, right? It might feel like it's a little tiring to do this. That's okay. Just a couple more times. And stay with it, right? This could be something that you can just now float off to what you're making, as I would do, what you're making for lunch later, or dinner later. But try to stay here. Wherever you place your mind, everything will grow into that space. Good. Next time that you draw it in, hold it. Lift your hips, shift them slightly, and then let your knee come into spinal twist. You can reach down for your bottom ankle if you'd like to take the thigh stretch. Even here, press your sacrum back, your sit bones back and wide. Keep your low back nice and full, your back ribs nice and full. Beautiful. And come back to center. Good. Hug both knees into your chest. Place your right ankle on top of your left knee. Right ankle, left knee. Flex your right foot. And then place your left foot down onto the floor slightly wider. So move your left foot slightly wider to the left and let both knees drop to the right. If your left knee does not like this, you can go ahead and put the foot down onto the floor. That's fine. And then stretch your arms nice and wide. And then breathe deep into your chest. Breathe deep into the bottom of your lungs. I was teaching on New Year's Eve about courage and contentment and clarity. That's my prayer for the new year, is clarity, courage, and contentment. And there's a wonderful story about a beggar. Come on back up, keep the ankle on top of the knee, scoot that foot back in just a little bit, and then draw that knee into your chest. So left knee comes in, flexing both feet. And trying to press your right knee away from you, drawing your left knee toward you. And the idea is that there's so many beggars in India. And this one gentleman came to his friend and said, I don't even know what to do. I leave my house and it's just so sad. It's so difficult. And he said, well, then just choose one beggar to be yours and help them. And so every day he would give something to this one person. It became a very connective, incredible experience. Go ahead and change sides. Place ankle to knee second side and then take the twist first. So lower the foot down. Move the right foot a little bit more to the right and then let the knees drop to the left. Arms out as wide as they'll go. And then this gentleman came back to his home in the States, and he came into his house and he had all these different challenges going on in his house. Like, the dryer stopped working, or the water got clogged, or, so many different things that happens that daily happen. And he was getting annoyed, and so he called his friend back in India and said, what's your suggestion? My mind is like already, so crazy over coming back. He goes, why don't you tell your beggar all your problems? I love that idea, is to understand that we are so content with what we have. Even the connection to another human being, sweetness from someone. And so what if your dryer doesn't work? Come on up and then draw that right knee in, so you're allowing for yourself to take that hip opening. And again, your choice of holding the thigh or not. See what works best for you today. Foot is off the floor. Ankle to knee. Yeah. You got it, Nancy. Oh, there you go. Nice, Emily. Take another deep breath here, please. And then go ahead and let both feet come back down to the floor. Now, if you happen, and most of you are totally fine here in the studio, you're going to need to scoot forward so your arms can come over the top of your head. And I want you to bend your knees, plant your feet, preparing to come up into bridge. But I want your arms alongside the body. So rolling bridge, I want you to take your hips up off the floor and take your arms up and over your head. Keep squeezing your shins, and if you don't trust your shins, put a block there. And then lower all the way back down, arms come down and hips come down. And do that for a couple of rounds as you lift up. Keep the chin lifted, right? So when your your hips lift up, your chin doesn't drop. So keep the neck muscles engaged. And then see if you can really enjoy the inhale and the exhale, the inhale and the exhale. Inhale as you lift up, exhale as you bring your arms down. Good. The next time your hips come down, hug your knees into your chest, but don't hold your knees. Keep your arms down alongside if you bring your knees in. And then drop your feet back down and go ahead. Continue with the sequence. Lift your hips, take your arms over the top of your head. And then next time your hips come back down, your knees come into your chest. And continue like that. Nice, Kathy. Yeah. You could even pause at a certain point. Like maybe your body wants you to hold one of the positions a little bit longer. Good. 2 more. Good. And next time your hips come back down and you hug your knees into your chest, stay there. And roll all the way up onto your hands and knees. And press back into child's pose. And just feel your body and feel your mind. Be at ease. Be at ease in the mind. Wherever we're going, we will be just fine. Remember that image, holding on too tight to the steering wheel with too much of your brake on. You're going to get exhausted. Good. Come on up onto your hands and knees. Press back downward facing dog. Draw the armpits forward. Draw the ribs forward. And then press the tops of your thighs back. Let your sit bones widen. Really nice, everybody. Step your right foot forward. Bring your left foot in just enough so both legs go straight. Urdhva. Use blocks underneath your hands if you need them. Beautiful. Tack that right hip crease back. Nice, Jen. Beautiful, Jane. And then see again that you're not holding any tension in your jaw. See if you can even hollow your right low belly just a little bit more so you lift from the right low belly. You separate the top of the thigh and the low belly from each other and push the sit bones back and wide. Good, and with your exhale, inhale, switch legs. Either leg comes, left leg comes forward, right leg comes back. And also have the awareness of not falling just onto the big toe or the little toe. See that that left shin is not bowing out. Yeah, a lot of space. Nice, Katrin. See what it feels like to take the length of your spine and grow it just a little bit longer. And maybe that means to bend your front knee, left knee for a moment and extend your spine just a little bit more out of the hamstrings. Get the spine to grow a little bit more and then take the thigh back again. Beautiful. Step to the front of the mat, standing forward bend. And then bend your knees deeply. Send your hips down toward the floor. Keep your fingertips on the floor, so stay very low. Good. Torso is parallel to the floor. And then just slowly start to reach your arms forward as if you're coming up to chair, but you're coming so slow. The sit bones are moving back toward the back of your mat like crazy. You're scooping the low belly and slowly lifting the arms up alongside those ears. Yes. Nice, Elisa. Beautiful, Mark. Rise all the way up to stand. Take a hold of that left wrist and reach to the right side stretch. Make sure you're not pulling your shoulders all the way up. So allow the shoulders to relax, but get more side body lengthening. Good, Sarah. And then come back to center and try the other side. Tops of your thighs back. Don't push your thighs forward. Beautiful. And come back to center. Relax your arms down alongside the body. Close your eyes for a moment. Nothing changed from the old year to the new year. But there's an opportunity in any time that we bring ritual that we more fully place ourselves in this moment. So something like a new year is a ritual. We place ourselves so fully in this moment and what we will bring to it. Take your left knee into your chest, eyes open. Take your arms up to the sky. Clasp your hands together, point your fingers straight up. Reach up, pull yourself up. Now push your sit bones slightly back. And then start to come into Virabhadrasana 3 like this. Take your left leg back. Laser beam. You can bend your standing leg if you'd like. I kind of like to come out of it, get a little crooked, I call it, and then press into straight. Good. Now let your right hand fall down to a block or the floor. Let your left arm reach up to the sky and come into Ardha Chandrasana. Open into the moon energy. And then bend your right knee and walk your block just a little bit more forward, or your hand just a little bit more forward. And now bend your left knee so both knees are bent. And then fall deeply onto that right hand as if you're going to do a cartwheel and push your legs to straight. Push your legs to straight. So your spine grows a little bit longer. Pull your throat back. Nice work. Keep breathing. And then touch your left hand down to the floor. Downward facing dog. That was gorgeous. Take it through a vinyasa of your choice or none at all. Up to you. Beautiful. Nice. Gorgeous. Walk or jump to the front of your mat, standing forward bend. Fingertips touch the floor, bend your knees. Send your seat way back. Make sure your knees are on top of those ankles so you're not pushing your knees forward. And then slowly, navel in, start to reach your arms forward. You're coming into chair so slow. Each breath you're taking coming up is lengthening your spine. Yes. And then rise all the way up to stand. Take a hold of your left wrist and pull to the right again. Nice, Jackie. And then try the other side. Beautiful, Marjorie. Good. And come back to center. Good. Interlace your palms again. Point your fingers straight up, overhead. Hug your right knee into your chest. Notice when you bring your knee in that you tend to scoop your tailbone down, so push your sit bones back and wide. And then slowly move yourself into Virabhadrasana 3. That leap of Hanuman. That leap of faith into the darkness. Beautiful. And then float into Ardha Chandrasana. Left hand comes down to the floor. Reach up. Nice, Rachel. Yeah, Audrey. And then when you're ready, you'll bend both legs. You'll fall more into your left arm. So your left hand even more forward than usual. And then as you're ready, you'll push your legs to straight to get your spine to go a little bit longer. Susan, pick your head up a little bit. And step back, downward facing dog. Yeah. Nice, Lisa. Vinyasa of choice or none at all. Great, Roz. Okay, right foot steps forward. Lower your left knee down to the mat. Anjaneyasana. Maybe a little prop underneath your back knee is nice. Inhale your arms to the sky. Make sure your knee is not directly underneath your hip. And then start to move your knee toward that second toe. Good. Go ahead and stay upright, but drop your arms alongside the body. Stay upright. Turn your palms face forward. Yep. Let those shoulders lift just a little bit higher. Draw the shoulders back and start to drip your fingertips to the floor, but lift your chest more. Beautiful. Let your pelvis release. Yes. Nice, Allison. You got this. Touch the floor. Don't touch. Don't move. Just touch the floor with your mind. Good. Now go ahead and touch the floor. Hands to the floor. Straighten that front leg. Come into Ardha Hanumanasana. And then clasp your hands behind you. So clasp your hands behind you. You're going to lift your front foot. Excuse me. Dig your heel down. Pull it back. Lean forward. Yep. Go, 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 Katrin. Go, go, go. That's it. Inhale, come on up. Beautiful. Bring that right knee back in so you're back in a lunge and jump switch to the other side or step switch or crawl switch. Inhale the arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Nice melody. Yep. It's just such a fun pose to do so much internal work here. Because to just stay where there's a hard thigh is not fun. So take your butt back. Move your butt back. Take your arms down. Feel your sit bones go wide. Scoop your low belly. Lift your shoulders more. That's it, Janet. Beautiful. Yeah, Andrea. Now take the knee forward, Susan. Gorgeous. Take the knee forward. And the more forward you go and the more the pelvis drops to the floor, if your arms are alongside of you and the palms are facing forward, you might let the fingertips touch the floor. And what a creation that you've just made, feeling connected to the earth and sky all at once. Yep. Beautiful. Inhale the arms back up to the sky. Big breath in. Nice, Sue. And exhale, hands down. Go ahead and straighten that front leg. Ardha Hanumanasana. Come up onto that heel. Dig the heel down. Pull back. You want to lift that left low belly a lot. Scoop the belly in. And then clasp your hands behind your back. And then bow. Try not to let your head go faster than your shoulders. Lift your shoulders. Yeah. Beautiful. Touch down, hands to the floor. Downward facing dog. Good. Come forward to plank. Use your right hand to hold you for Vashisthasana. Right hand Vashisthasana. Left leg either steps on top of the right leg and or you drop the bottom knee. Good. Now bend that top elbow and lean back so the heart moves to the back body. And then lift the chest a lot. Take the top leg, step up behind you. Come onto the toe tips and just open up that chest a lot. Gorgeous. Hand down to the floor, downward facing dog. Nice, Crystal. That was beautiful. Plank pose, Vashisthasana, second side. Pose of serenity. All right, you got hard work to do, a lot of work to do, but this pose of peace. Bend that elbow, start to reach it back. Start to lean back as you step the top leg behind you. Breathe deeply into this. Lean back, shoulders so deep on your back that you're kissing your shoulder blades together. Drop the hand down to the floor. Come on down to your knees. Press back into child's pose. Remember the Ramayana when the wife who asked that Ram does not become king, but that her son becomes king instead. And the father, as so sad he was to tell Ram that he not only was not going to be king, but that he would be exiled into the forest. There wasn't a moment that he said, "Come on, Dad, think about it differently. Let's do it different. That's not right. That's not fair." No. He said, "I will go and pack my bags right now." And you know what? You and I did the same damn thing in March. We said, "What? You want us to do this? Okay." And we did. Each one of us are heroes in our own story and in a collective story. Now we just have to remember with devotion that wherever we're moving toward, we will be fine. Not only fine, but better than fine. Being exiled, right, in the forest, definitely Sita and Ram and Lakshman, they did a lot of work. It wasn't like they were on vacation. And I know you feel the same way. You certainly were not on vacation, neither was I. We created new places, and to that I am so grateful. So come on up onto your hands and knees. I want you to come down onto your left forearm and your right fingertips. Good. Stay with your hips forward, though. Yeah. Good. And then I want you to send your right leg back behind you and press it out to the right. So have your right leg come out to the right, off the floor. So just press it behind you. So, yeah, there you go. Veronica's doing it beautifully, right behind you. And then squeeze that knee into your armpit. Now pull it in. Yep. Now press out the heel again. Press out through the heel. So it's almost like you're doing what you were doing when you were lying on your back. Bring the knee in toward the armpit. And now press out through that heel. Push back. Do that a couple more times. Pull in. Yep. And press back. Nice. Great. Release that knee down and try the other side. That's it. Nice, Emily. Bring it as close to that armpit as you can. So one knee is on the floor still. You're just pressing the left leg back and pulling it in. Yeah, Kathy, you got it. And really try to squeeze it into that armpit. Don't get lazy. Beautiful. 2 more times. And then once you finish that second time, downward facing dog, please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale that right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Good. Now bring that right knee forward to that right armpit. Good. Now bend that right elbow just a little bit and drop that knee on top of that shoulder. And then press it all the way back again. Good. Lower that leg. Inhale the left leg to the sky. Bring the knee all the way up to your armpit, up to that shelf of the upper arm. And if it sits on that upper arm, bend that elbow and let it drop right there. And then take it all the way back. And lower that leg down. Come forward to plank pose and lower all the way down to your belly. Bring yourself up into Sphinx onto those elbows. And breathe deeply here. Elbows underneath your shoulders. There you go, Susan. Excellent. Your hands have that feeling like they're dropping into the floor and pulling back so the chest can move forward. But one of the things we forget to do here is draw that navel in. So keep the navel lifted. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up off the floor. Nice. Breathe. And then lower those hips all the way back down. Good. Take your left forearm, cross it in front of you so it's parallel to the front of your mat, and reach your right hand back for your right ankle. Thigh stretch. Remember to press that knee down to the floor. Lift your chest a little bit more. Nice, Allison. That works. Thigh stretch. Keep your chest lifted. And then just for another moment here, spread your toes on your right foot nice and wide. So you're really activating that ankle, foot, shin. Keep breathing. Smile a little bit. There you go. Thanks, Nancy. All right, lower that down, and let's change to the other side. Great, Allison. Oh, hi, honey. Good. Press that knee down. Lift that chest a lot. Soften those ribs. And then splay your toes wide. Nice, Rachel. Yep. Beautiful. Good, Katrin. Slowly releasing forehead to the mat. Reach back for both ankles, please. That little inchworm for a moment. So lift your butt up for a second. That weird moment where your butt comes off the floor. Your knees are still on the floor. So you're hollowing, your sit bones are widening. Butt up, and then start to carve your tailbone down gently as you let your belly come down to the floor, your butt come down, and now lift your chest, lift your knees, come into bow pose. Nice, Allison, that works. Gorgeous. And gently release down. Pia Rose. Turn your cheek to the side. Enjoy your breath. The Ramayana, there's great teachings, as you know, of community. You know, when Hanuman was born, he was gifted with all the best of the best, all of the gifts of all the gods and goddesses. So whatever each god or goddess represented the best of was what they gifted Hanuman at his birth. And that is the same of each and every one of us. We are the best of the best. We have all the gifts of the universe. But we forget. So then we put our brakes on as we're going down into the darkness because we're afraid. We don't know what the unknown is going to bring. And then we're exhausted when it's time to climb back up. The community reminds us that we are the best of the best. So let your foot off that brake. Let the hands fly up. So you play more. You laugh more. Good. Flip over onto your back and come into bridge or full wheel. Up to you. And if you would rather do camel, like I know some of you are big camel fans. So if you'd rather do camel, I'm happy. Yeah, and as a perfect, if you want to take a block and put it underneath your sacrum, that's also a fabulous idea. Yeah. Beautiful. Wherever you are, take a couple more breaths. And because I know quite a few of you did choose the block underneath the sacrum, here's an opportunity to stay here. If you would like to do an inversion, now's your time. If you want to do headstand, handstand, forearm balance, shoulder stand. But if you're really happy with your block underneath your sacrum. I'm very happy with your block underneath your sacrum. We're all happy. Our possibilities have opened in so many ways we could have never imagined possible. Usually in years past, Neil and I would go chant for just a couple of hours, then go have our favorite Indian food, call it a day. But chanting for 9 hours, just with everything, walking our dog, making our food, such a blessing. So many opportunities we've never even tapped into. So here's our opportunity, 2021. And though it's just no different than 2020 in a way that it is another breath in time or space in time, it is different because we've learned so much in this past year about our capacity to become even more than we ever imagined ourselves to be. And this is the teaching of Hanuman. You can fly. You can become small or big at will. Hanuman's first idea is to have a conversation. So our conversations have gotten deeper, wiser. Our questions have gotten wiser. Why have we always done it like this? How unbelievable that we have the opportunity to change that. I always say all of our rules have been broken. Good. Find yourself coming out of whatever inversion you've chosen, nice and slow. If you're in shoulder stand and you'd like to take a fish, you're welcome to do that. If you're in headstand and want to either sit in Virasana or Child's Pose, you're also welcome to do that. But find yourself preparing, once you're ready, to come up to sit. Stretch your legs nice and wide. Upavista Konasana, maybe sit up on a blanket. If you have props around you and you would like to prop up your forehead as you come forward or a bolster, you're welcome to do that. Once again, make sure your seat is back and wide. And then come forward, taking your arms forward, maybe resting again on a block. I like that, Allison, a lot. Just make sure your seat is still back. It's totally great. I love that. Just make sure you're still pushing your seat back. Nice, Mark. Beautiful. And find that place of serenity here. Yeah. Really beautiful. Either stay right where you are, walk your upper body over to your right leg and lean over your right leg. And if you're over your right leg, go ahead and walk over to your left leg. That's it. Nice, Janet. That's it. Emily, just pick up your head a little bit. Move your throat back just a little bit. Yes, 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 yes. Nice. Come back to center. Come to a cross-legged position. Place your right hand on top of your left knee. Take your left arm up to the sky and stretch your left arm to the right. Wait, did I say that weird? Right hand to your left knee, left arm up to the sky, and reach toward your right. Yeah? No? Yeah. Lean, Veronica, just lean, yeah, there you go. I figure if Veronica can't figure it out, I must have said something wrong. Beautiful. And then come on up and switch sides. Just going to anchor yourself with that right knee. Press it down. Don't pull it up. Yeah, that's it. Very nice. Yeah, throw it back. Good. And then come all the way back up. Take your right hand onto your head by your left ear and bring your right ear down to your right shoulder. So you're just doing a neck stretch. Bring your right ear down towards your right shoulder. And stretch your left hand out, left fingertips on the floor. Good. Now just stay there one more second and press your head up into that hand. Push up. Gorgeous. And then come on up and try the other side. Gorgeous. Come on up. And drop your hands onto your lap. And as we've been doing all week, turn your left palm up and your right palm down on your lap. Left palm up, right palm down. And I want you to imagine that you're holding hands with somebody to your left and someone to your right. So hold their hand, like let your hand slightly come into that place that it would feel as if you're holding the hand of the person next to you on your left and on your right. With your eyes closed, we come together into this glorious new year with so much anticipation of everything turning around and becoming right, but I don't know if that's the opportunity that's there for us. The opportunity is to live in full faith of what we've brought to this year and we brought together to this year of love and light will help to adjust itself in any way that it's supposed to. And that as we continue to do our work together, as we continue to do this real divine work together, that we'll play more, we'll manifest more, we'll create more. We'll take our foot off that brake and we'll raise our hands up and we'll take the ride and make it a light and fun and joyful ride. So in silence, just for a moment, you're holding the hands of all of those of us who have continued to do this work, and I'm so grateful. And then give the person to your left and that person to your right a little squeeze as you release their hands. And either stay here in silent meditation or lie down on your back for Shavasana. You can be sure the day has begun when you look into the face of any man and recognize your brother in him. When you look into the face of any woman and see in her your sister. If you cannot do this, then no matter what time it is by the sun, it is still night within you. As you feel ready, begin to stretch your body in the way that feels good to you. If you're lying on your back, hug your knees into your chest and roll up to sit. And bring your hands together at your heart center. Inhale for the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Sliding your hands to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Make it great. I'll see you soon.